How's it going, everybody? It's the Keenan's Fox here. This is my channel where I talk about anime, video games, and cartoons. And today, if you've read the title of the video, or if you look what's on the screen right now, you know I'm reacting to another video of Harry on the Hooks. Now, I know I've done some back and forth videos on her as is, and this is my fourth video. Some people think I'm obsessed. It's probably her fans or whatever. I'm just trying to get this out of the way. I don't care what they think. I'm just trying to get this out of the way because I got things I want to say about her and stuff. And again, I'm not trying to be all mean-spirited and negative, but I completely disagree with her views and her opinions and whatnot towards things that I actually appreciate, and I feel like the stuff she says really does come off as like very disrespectful, especially to white people and stuff. I'm not even trying to make it a race thing, but I'm just saying, yeah, especially to white people and stuff, because she's always talking about, oh, well, you white, yeah, it kind of actually comes off as racist too, in my opinion. But I don't like to throw around words like racism and misogynistic and whatnot without at least, or homophobic, unless like I am like at least 99% sure that person is in fact probably such and such. But I don't like to just throw around off a 50-50 or 20 like or 20-80 chance that that person might be. You know, like I don't like to do that because stuff like that can really damage and ruin a person's life. But anyways, I'm not trying to put her down, and I'm certainly not trying to uplift her or anything. I'm just pointing out, like, it's just considered like a debunk. So, anyways, like I said, I've done 4 videos on her and whatnot. Yeah. And this is gonna be it's not gonna be my final video that I'm gonna do on her, but it's gonna be probably the final video that I'm gonna do on her for now and whatnot. And then I'm just gonna get back to just doing what I like to do and stuff, like animations and stuff, and talking about stuff that I like Sonic or TMNT. But yeah, so I'm going to be reacting to this video right here called "It's Time to Talk About the Simpsons Racist Problem" or whatever. A guy named Jet Black J had already did a video on that already, so he kind of beat me to it a couple months ago, and I just saw his video. It's kind of nice. He does actually talk about some stuff that I probably might have missed, so if you want, that I might miss in this video, so if you want to check out his thing, check it out. But this is just my take. So let's get into it. So basically, she's going to start off talking about where are the actors of color or whatever inside The Simpsons, because she thinks that The Simpsons is dominantly white in terms of the writers and the voice acting, and like as if that matters to make a good show. But let's continue.
Many of adult animated series seem to have a big problem with having very subtle racism in their shows, also just known as casual racism. Racism that's just always been here, but we kind of don't bat an eye at it because we're so used to it. It doesn't really seem like anything, when really it's a big problem that we need to start talking about. So white people take up most of the space in the writer's room in Hollywood. Are we surprised? No. And because white people take up so much of the space in the writer's room, that's why so many adult animated shows and just live action television in general have big problems when it comes to racism. I feel like I look better from this side. We're going to talk from this side now. Like I said, many white people take up the writer's room in Hollywood, and they continue to throw in racist jokes in them. And the reason why they like to throw racist jokes in there is because they think racism is funny. And newsflash, it's not. Racism, people. Racism affects how people get their jobs. Racism ruins lives, okay? Anything that is hurting somebody, like racism, sexism, misogyny, homophobia, transphobia, where it's physically hurting somebody, mentally, physically, and emotionally hurting somebody, it's not funny at all. It's not.
Now, comedy is subjective, and you can laugh. You're entitled to laugh at what you want and stuff. Now, it's not like The Simpsons or Family Guy or American Dad or is trying to undermine stuff like that, like trying to undermine, but again, I mean, they just see an aspect of a character and they make a joke out of it, and it's funny and stuff. I mean, like, that's offensive humor. That's cool. People like people like me enjoy offensive humor. Now, if it's like supposed to like really do like put down somebody, like let's say I don't know, like a bunch of like racist guys, like a bunch of racist guys gathered together, and they'd be calling this one black dude a monkey and stuff. Hey, sorry, my throat. Hey monkey, where you going? Stuff like that. Yeah, that's not funny. But if it's like, you know, you just make a simple small joke like, I don't know, like, oh, I don't know, just something, but whatever. Then yeah, I mean, that's just you know, it's small jokes. It's a joke. It's not something you take seriously. Like Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle has some pretty funny jokes and stuff. I'm like, that man is hilarious, or whatever. Chris Rock and whatnot. That's a pretty hilarious guy. I like listening to some of these comedians. Chris Tucker, Cat Williams. You know, yeah. But we'll talk about comedians later in this video too. Speaking of which, but anyways, Harry on. So yeah, I mean, again, it's like it is what it is. But again, I mean, it's up to you and whatnot. Comedy is subjective.
To the Simpsons and just many like the entertainment industry in general, it's beyond it being a problem with it being on camera, because there's a big issue behind the camera too from The Simpsons, and that has to do with the white writers room, as we mentioned earlier, but also the voice actors. It's a big problem behind the camera. It's a big problem behind the drawings. Aside from the guest stars, the cast of The Simpsons, which is actually a big cast than we think it is not just the family. There are a whole bunch of other people that do a lot of the recurring characters' voices and the additional roles and things like that. Those are white people. For the longest, it was only white people. The cast is all white, but please help me understand why the cast is all white. But when you look at The Simpsons, you see some people of color in there, okay? It's obvious that The Simpsons has people of color in Springfield. We have seen Asian people in Springfield. We have seen black people in Springfield. We have seen South Asian people in Springfield. We've seen Latino people in Springfield. Why aren't any of these people of color voiced by voice actors of color? Help me understand why the entire cast is white, please. And before somebody say it, Harry, it ain't that deep when it comes to voice acting. They're just looking for the person that can do the voice the best. Here's the deal. One, voice acting is a white-dominated field already. White people take up most of the space in voice acting, okay? So it already lacks diversity right there in the industry. You see, in the entertainment industry, we have actors. Then when you go to voice actors, it is way less black people, Asian people, people of color in general, voice acting. That's something that we just need to acknowledge. The voice acting industry is very white dominated, and it's slowly starting to change, but this change was long overdue. This is specifically for English voice acting. I'm aware, and when it comes to anime and when it's recorded in Japan, it is done by Japanese people. I'm aware, y'all. I know. We're specifically talking about the issues with Western animation here. Anime got another problem, but I'm not here to talk about that.
Alright, book that video too.
If there's going to be a wide range of cartoon characters, there needs to be a wide range of voice actors too, because there is a big issue when it comes to voice acting, because when they find one good voice actor, they use them for everything. And I appreciate those good voice actors too. I know of a good few black voice actors I can name off the top of my head, but they literally are placed in every single last role. And I'm like, yeah. Other black people, me, want to voice act too. Give other people a chance. And two, when white voice...
You could just apply yourself and just become a voice actress. I mean, it's not... Like, again, I don't really have any interest in becoming a voice actor, but I'm just saying that's literally what she could do. Just apply herself. And if she sees an opportunity, just take it. Like anyone else. Versus just playing the victim card and be all like, well, us black girls want to voice act too.
Actors take on roles for black actors, oftentimes they are using a black accent. They are told to sound black. They are told to speak how they think black people speak.
Alright, let me pause real quick. Now, I'm going to answer her question before I forget it. So basically she was saying, it was that whole, oh, what about, they're probably the best for the job. That question, where she was like, why aren't there, more, like, I guess, diverse or whatever. And again, keep in mind, white people can also be diverse. I even said this before in one of these videos where I was saying that, yeah, I mean, it's not just like, oh, well, it's just a person of color or whatever in terms of their skin. I mean, anyone can be diverse in terms of, like, just, you know, not even just limited to their nationality, but even their culture, religion, whatever. Even white people can be diverse people. Like, you can have a room full of people who's Russian, Canadian, French, Hispanic, well, not Hispanic, Hispanic's not white, Caucasian, English, British, whatever, Scottish, that kind of thing. That's, yeah, they're not the same nationality. But anyways, off topic. So back to her question. So she was saying something along the lines of, why are we having white actors play black characters or whatever. Now I got at least 3 or 4 responses to that. Yeah, it could be because of they're best suited for the job. That's one. Two, what was two? Let's see. Two, the character, like at least the voice actors for the Simpsons and stuff, they've been voicing these characters for like 30 years. Like you have Hank Azaria, who is the voice actor of Apu, and I'll be talking a lot more about him at some point in this video. And then Henry Shearer, I don't know how to pronounce the man's name, like his last name, but Harry Shearer and stuff. He voices Dr. Hibbert, and he's voiced a bunch of other characters. Like, yeah, they voice a bunch of other characters in the show. Like, I believe Harry Shearer, he voices like Krusty Clown and a bunch of other characters. Hank Azaria, he voices, and to my surprise, he actually voices comic book guy, Snake. He voices Chief Wiggums and stuff. Like, if you like, I would have never have guessed that the guy who voices Apu voices those characters and stuff. I was like perplexed. I was like, wow, that is actually pretty good. Because I couldn't tell that was his voice, you know. So again, you already have a good voice actor, so why would you want to replace that said voice actor in favor of some, oh, let's get another voice actor and whatnot, when he's been doing the job for at least over 30 years at this point? Definitely at least 20, but definitely at least just about 30 years he's been doing this job. So why replace him and whatnot? You know what I mean? So that's two. Three, if we get people who are voicing said characters and stuff, right? Let's say we get a Indian person to voice an Indian character, or we get a Jamaican person voicing a Jamaican character, or we get an African person voicing an African character. How do you think that's going to turn out? Let's say like they might have some kind of broken English and stuff. Like they can speak English, but let's say they have an accent and stuff that is kind of like really hard to understand and whatnot. If you're just a casual audience and stuff like me, like because I remember one time a couple years ago, I actually went to Jamaica to visit some friends and stuff. And I was in Jamaica, and I was like, like seeing some of the, the natives and stuff there, and it was kind of like Jamaica's not weird. It's a good country. It's really hot as hell, but yeah, I'm like it's hot as hell. It's a lot of dogs and goats, but other than that, it's not bad. But some of the people and stuff, like it was kind of hard to understand them sometimes because they had this Jamaican accent, like they were speaking English and whatnot, but the problem was, they had an accent and stuff that it was really hard for me to kind of understand it at times. I was like, I had to I had to really listen closely. And it's the same thing with like African people, or it could be the same thing with just anyone. Like I mean, like anyone that isn't from America or that isn't from your region, it's kind of hard to understand them sometimes. So I'm just saying stuff like that. That's the factors and whatnot. So when you're like casting, like you're like, yeah, that's what I wanted to get at here. So yeah, those are some of my reasons. So let's get back to her video. She's going to be talking about how there isn't enough black voice actors, and it's all just Kevin Michael Richardson and Cree Summer, which she's going to talk about right now.
I'm so sorry to bring up Miraculous Ladybug again. If this is your first time ever watching me, I make numerous videos about Miraculous Ladybug, and I make numerous videos about the city. You're going to make 2 points about those things. Alia, who is the half-black girl of Miraculous Ladybug, is not even voiced by a black person at all. She is voiced by a white woman, and this white woman uses a black accent when she is voicing Alia's character. It is a weird black accent too, because one minute she'll be speaking normally, and then the next minute she'll start doing that fake, "Ooh girl, yes child, honey" thing. Like, it's not good. There are voice actors
as if black women own the words, "Oh yes, honey," "Oh yeah, child." Like, again, white women can say that too. Like, what?
Color out here. Please use them. And yes, Descendants actually did something right for once. There was a Middle Eastern character in Descendants Wicked World named Jordan. They actually had a Middle.
I'm probably going to be skipping most of the stuff anyways, just to keep in mind so I can keep this video a little bit more.
Because of them having so much money, they have the resources to be able to reach out and find voice actors of color for these characters of color in their series, okay? There literally is no excuse for y'all not to be able to have voice actors of...
And again, I already told you, why that either wouldn't work, or why that would be just unnecessary. Because again, like you already, and I remember, and I was talking about in my other video about the High Guardian Spice thing, where I was saying how I'm currently reading the book The Characters That Taught Me Everything by Megumi Hayashibara, one of my favorite voice actors, and whatnot, who voiced some of my favorite characters and sang some pretty good ass opening songs in anime. The thing about, like, she was saying how, like, Megumi was saying that basically, like, writing is one thing, and writing characters and stuff, it really does, yeah, it's great. But also the voice acting and whatnot does in fact bring the character to life. It really does, like, capture the audience in a kind of way. Like, and it's the same here in America. Like, for example, like I said, Hank Azaria, if he didn't do his whole thing for Apu, if he didn't do the whole funny accent or whatever, the thank you, come again, thing, then Apu probably wouldn't even be that popular. Like, if I'm going to be honest, like, I'm just speculating. I don't know too much about what Hank Azaria is. Like, I don't know too much about Hank Azaria, and I don't know too much about, like, the Simpsons and all of them. But I'm just saying, yeah. I mean, I do like the Simpsons, of course. I mean, why else you think I'm watching it? Like, why I'm reacting to this video? But I'll get into that too in a second. But anyways, Hank Azaria, the reason why Apu is so popular is because of his voice and whatnot, and that's because of Hank Azaria. He does the accent and stuff, and it's hilarious. Um, and that's what made Apu such a notable character, and that's why they keep writing Apu and stuff, because writing the jokes that revolve around him being Native American. And I'm gonna post a video of well, I'll talk about that too in a second. Let's talk about it.
Color for your black and Indian cartoons. There are voice characters of color out here. Please look for them. Why? Ow! Shit. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm getting riled up and I hit my elbow. Anyway, Dr. Hibbert. Why is Dr. Hibbert just now being played by a black man, and he's being played by the amazing Kevin Michael Richardson? But why is he just now being played by a black man? And that's because he got cussed out on the internet for it. Okay, the internet literally be holding Hollywood accountable for all this mess. Once Hollywood brought it to their attention, talking about why there are no people of color.
Yeah, that probably explains why everything's gone to shit, because you got these weirdos on the internet telling people what they think, how they know what's best, when they clearly don't. I mean, I might be one of those people, honestly. I'm not even gonna lie, but I'm just saying, come on.
On y'all acting team, they got upset, they got scared, and they were like, you know what? Dr. Hibbert should be played by a black man. Let's get one of the best well-known voice actors out here for black people and cast him. That's literally the thought process behind that. I love Kevin Michael Richardson, by the way. Shout out to him. Shout out to Cree Summer for both holding it down for the black voice acting community, okay? The two are extremely appreciated. We love y'all, okay? So frustrating how Hollywood tends to think that Cree Summer and Kevin Michael Richardson are like the only two black voice actors out here. And newsflash, no. It's just laziness. It's just laziness. They just don't want to take the time out of their day to look for people of color. They'll take it.
I mean, maybe it is, maybe it is not, but I can already name off, like, I've kind of wrote, like, down at least 10 people, like 10 actual, like, 10 black voice actors and stuff. You can probably Google it too. But yeah, I mean, I've kind of yeah, just so I won't have to, like, waste time brainstorming some ideas, but yeah. So like I said, the first two she already mentioned, Cree Summer and Kevin Michael Richardson, which, yes, they're great voice actors. We already know Cree Summer, she voiced Susie Carmichael from Rugrats, she voiced Number 5, Abigail Lincoln and her sister Cree Lincoln from Codename Kiss Next Door, and Max Gibson from Batman Beyond. I could probably go on with Cree Summer's roles. And Hernerva from Voltron, so yeah, that her too. And then Kevin Michael Richardson, I know some of his roles. I know he voiced the Joker from the Batman, the 2005 series, I believe. He also voiced, and again, keep in mind, the Joker is white too. So you have a black man voicing a white character, but you want to be outspoken when it's like, oh, well, why is it a white person voicing a black character? That makes no sense. And I know Kevin Michael Richardson also voiced, and of course, I'm a TMNT fan. He voiced the Shredder from the 2012 series. And keep in mind, again, just like the Joker, the Shredder is not, well, he's not white, but the Shredder is Japanese. And Kevin Michael Richardson is black. Like, make it make sense, people. Like, yeah, Jesus. And then, but I got some other voice actors outside of them. So there's also Keith David. If you don't know who Keith David is the voice of Spawn from the Spawn the animated series. He also voiced Spawn inside Mortal Kombat 11 recently and the DLC pack or whatever. So that was pretty cool. But anyways, but yeah, and he's also voiced other characters too, like Goliath from Gargoyles. I need to really check out Gargoyles, but yeah, he voiced Goliath. He also like what else has Keith David done? I know he voiced this like Warhawk character from Princess Mononoke and whatnot. A classic film. It was pretty good. I watched it over a year ago. It was yeah, it was pretty awesome. It was a good like it was a really good ass movie. But yeah, Princess Mononoke. So yeah, and then some other voice actors. So we got Regina King, the voice actress who plays as both Huey and Riley Freeman from the Boondocks and stuff. There's let's see, there's Phil Lamar and stuff. The Phil Lamar is probably just as big as Cree Summer and Kevin Michael Richardson in terms of voice acting. If we want to talk black voice actors and whatnot, as big as like your Tara Strong and your Tom Kenny, which she's going to mention that there isn't a voice actor as big as them. When I mean, newsflash, there is some like Phil Lamar. Phil Lamar, dude voiced Samurai Jack. Again, Samurai Jack is Japanese. Phil Lamar is black. Don't see nobody talking about that. I mean, it shouldn't be a problem, just as much as like, oh, well, white people voicing black characters shouldn't be a problem. But anyways, Phil Lamar voiced Static Shock. He voiced Jon Stewart, the Green Lantern. He voiced Aquaman, another white, like Aquaman's white and he's black. Phil Lamar also voiced Kodo Khan and stuff, an Aztec god, or an Aztec sun god, basically, right? So I'm just saying, like, yeah. So Phil Lamar, uh, Lillian Randolph. Now, if you don't know who Lillian Randolph is, let me entertain this idea. So basically, back in the day, so I mean not back in the day. So basically, Haryana here thinks that Tom and Jerry is racist for having the character Mammy Two Shoes and stuff. Now, keep in mind, Mammy Two Shoes is actually one of the first human characters on Tom and Jerry, and she's voiced by Lillian Randolph. Lillian Randolph is not just some white woman with a broken that has this like weird broken black scent or whatever. No, Lillian Randolph is actually a black woman and whatnot. Her and her sister, well, she passed away a long time ago, but her and her sister, they both had to work hard together. It was just them. They had each other, and they really stepped up. Like they became actors. They were on radio show. I believe they had like their own radio show or something, and they were definitely doing voice, or she was definitely doing voice acting. Lillian Randolph, yes, but yet she wants to say Tom and Jerry's racist because they had Mammy Two Shoes, right? So stuff like that. And then there's also James Avery. If you don't know who James Avery is, or if you don't recognize the name, you know him better as Uncle Phil from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. James Avery, as we already know, or again, as a TMNT fan, most TMNT fans know this, he voiced the Shredder off of 1987, another Japanese character. He also voiced War Machine from Iron Man and stuff a few times. In the back in the Marvel animated universe from the 90s. There's Chris Rock. Chris Rock voiced Marty from Madagascar. There is, let's see, Eddie Murphy. He voiced Donkey from Shrek. Uh, who else? James Earl Jones and stuff. You don't like, of course, James Earl Jones, the man voiced Darth Vader from Star Wars in the actual movies and stuff. And he also voiced Mufasa from Lion King. Those are some pretty big movies right there. And then there's Jaleel White. As you know, Jaleel White, he's Steve Urkel and stuff. He voiced Sonic the Hedgehog. So, yeah, I'm just saying, yeah, those are some pretty notable black actors right there, Haryana. So, what are you talking about that, there isn't somebody as top tier as, like, Tom King? Now, I might actually just skip over this part because I don't really know too much about Janie as a character from The Simpsons. But basically, Haryana is going to say that Janie is her favorite character from The Simpsons, which is cool, and that she sees herself in the character. And mostly it's just her saying that, well, basically, I can see myself in this character because I'm limited to my race and my gender. So that's why. And that, Bart and Lisa need more diverse friends. And honestly, they probably don't. But anyways, what was that? So, I mean, I'm not going to really spend too much time on the subject. I'm just going to skip ahead. But anyways, Janie. I just want to point this out. Like, she's like just questioning why is Janie like so like why did she fade into obscurity and whatnot? There's so much they can do with her, and maybe I mean she might have a point there. They probably could do some stuff with Janie, but again, like I didn't even know who Janie was until I saw this video, because I mean, yeah, I mean, I think I might have seen her around and whatnot. Like, so to me, she might be just another background character or something, or just one of Lisa's friends, I guess. But the thing is with The Simpsons is The Simpsons is about Matt Groening. About Matt Groening. Matt Groening is the creator of The Simpsons, right? Basically, it's based off of his life and whatnot, and based off of like stuff that he actually experiences as a son, as a father, as a husband. You know, that's why the episodes revolve more so around Bart and Homer and stuff, because you know, well, Bart is the son, Homer is the dad, and as the husband and stuff. Yeah, because Matt Groening is all those things. So that's why. So Lisa, though, I mean, of course, Lisa does get some centered episodes, of course, but I'm just saying it's not like as you know, you'll definitely see more of like Millhouse or Lenny and Carl more so than you'll see like Janie and stuff, because you know, at least with Millhouse, he's actually kind of funny and he's more memorable and stuff compared to Janie in comparison. You know, Lenny and Carl, they just hang around Homer and stuff, go drinking and all that other jazz. So yeah, so I'm just gonna skip a little bit ahead here. Um, she says some stuff. I'm going to just also debunk a little bit of that along the way. Right here.
By a black person. It's just something really unsettling about that. Like, the most popular show in America mainly focuses on white people. Does that surprise y'all? No. You bring one of the few black girls back on this show and you murder her. Like, that just don't fit.
Oh yeah, and then I almost forgot to mention. She talks about how basically that they're racist or something because, or they poorly portray black girls on the show. Which again, this is not about black girls. It's about the Simpsons, the family. Just like how the Loud House is about the Loud House and whatnot. But anyways, she's referring to this one episode of Treehouse of Horror, where basically Janie gets killed off or something. And keep in mind, yeah, and I know she mentioned this too, that the Treehouse of Horror episodes are non-canon, of course, so it has no impact on the story. But that doesn't mean like, oh, just because this character got killed off doesn't mean that they just don't, oh, like black girls in general or whatever. Like, no. So let's continue.
Too good with me. In conclusion, Janie deserves better. And also, Bart and Lisa should have some friends of color that don't come and go every so often, okay? Moving on. Apu. That poor man. That poor man. Apu deserves better. The Simpsons is just horrible about portraying Asian people in general. They're always the butt of the jokes. They're always disrespected. They're not portrayed as actual people.
That's probably because The Simpsons is fiction. But I mean, to be honest, like even though The Simpsons is mostly but about a bunch of white people, just about everyone is like not safe from the jokes or is a bit of a joke. I mean, come on. You got Homer, who's the dopey idiot, who's like the overweight dad. He is, you know, he likes to get drunk. He's stupid. He is overworked and he can't do his job right. That kind of thing. And then you have Marge, who's always like the stereotypical housewife, who's always like, I don't know, paranoid or kind of just whatever. And you know, you got Bart, who's the classic troublemaker, Lisa, who's the overachiever. And then you got other people like, let's see, who else is a stereotype, a really bad stereotype? Like Smithens and stuff. Smithens is always, you know, they always make jokes about Smithens and how he's gay for Mr. Burns. You got Mr. Burns, who's the stereotypical evil rich white man who is kind of an asshole to everybody, basically. I'm like, come on. Like, everybody's not safe from The Simpsons and stuff. But again, we'll talk about Apu, like, more so about that and Apu and whatnot and stereotypes later. But yeah, I mean, everybody in The Simpsons is a stereotype. It's no surprise. In Family Guy. Like, in Family Guy, you got guys like Peter. Again, Peter is the overweight idiot, just like Homer. Then you also got, like, I don't know, Herbert the pervert and stuff. Of course, they're gonna make jokes about Mr. Herbert and his him being a pedophile or Joe being crippled, or Cleveland being black, or Quagmire being, well, a pervert and a rapist. So yeah, like it just happens. I mean, of course they'll get serious when they get serious, but then they'll get joke. Like mostly it's just it's just fun sitcom kind of show, just funny as hell. But yeah, let's get back to this.
Part of it with The Simpsons, for the most part, that is just forever horrible. I don't care what nobody has to say talking about it was creative, you just didn't understand it. One of the biggest downfalls of this series is Apu's character. Apu is the worst of it all out of all the people of color in this series.
And to be honest with you, no, I mean she doesn't get it because Apu is not even a bad character and whatnot. Like it's not like the writing and whatnot just makes him all terrible or bad or whatever. No, Apu's a decent character. Now, yeah, does he get like some Indian jokes, some casual Indian jokes here and there about him uh, having X amount of children and being like super smart or whatever, or his store getting robbed several times, which is hilarious or whatever. Yeah, but again, Apu's a cool character though. I mean, he's like, let's be honest, Apu is probably like one of the most recognizable characters in The Simpsons and stuff. If I'm going to be completely honest with you, I mean, yeah, of course, there's The Simpsons and stuff like Homer, Lisa, Marge, Maggie, and Bart. But then there's also like Apu. Apu is like again one of the most recognizable characters in the series and stuff outside the family and whatnot. Uh, Again, like because everybody knows "Thank You, Come Again" or the Quickie Mart and stuff. And again, I had to say that also because of Hank Azaria's voice acting and whatnot, which really brought the character to life. So let's continue with this video.
Okay, and it is beyond tragic. Okay, so it's obvious that Apu was just here for them to make fun of them. Okay, because I have said no. Please, if you have HBO Max, please watch this documentary called "The Problem with Apu."
How many of you had to deal with being called a poo or that being referenced?
The Simpsons stereotypes all racist. The problem is we didn't have any other representation.
The Problem with Apu is a film documentary specifically created by Hari Kondabolu. It is great. Please watch it, okay? Literally, they go in way more detail about the situation with Apu.
Alright, let me pause right there. So, yeah, so when I was researching this video, because again, I didn't want to just react to this video and whatnot because you referenced some things. Okay, so let me talk about this. So I saw that documentary like a couple of days ago, and I was like, bro, like yeah, like 2 days ago I saw this so I could prepare for this video. So I saw the documentary. It's like 49 minutes long, and oh my god, it was not good. It was terrible. Like, I'm serious. So anyways, let me explain. So I got the man's name up here, and I'm kind of glad she said his name. It was it's Hari Kondabolu, and basically he's like this Indian stand-up comedian and whatnot. So basically. Let me just break this down. So basically, in his video, or his documentary, he gets inspired to make this documentary on the problem with Apu instead of the character from The Simpsons because at one of his stand-ups or one of his little comedy acts, some guy shouted out, "Thank you, come again." Basically, just a little joke and stuff, and he took offense to that, and he was all like, "Oh yeah, I recognized you. You're a bully from my like high school and stuff. Like I don't know your name, but yeah, you're a bully from my high school." Like the dude was projecting hard. Like I'm not even kidding. Like go actually watch that video. Like listen to what I gotta say first, and then watch that video and whatnot. Because I'm like, bro, because I'm about to point this man out. So basically, yeah, he was projecting and everything. It was very stupid. This guy's very stupid. So then he makes this documentary on Apu and is like saying, things like, oh well. If he saw Hank Azaria at a party or something, that's the guy who voices Apu, by the way, then he's going to kick the shit out of him, or he's going to fight him, or whatever, if he saw him just doing that Apu oppression or whatever. Yeah, I'm like, so basically you're going to assault the man for no reason then. And trust me, he's going to lose that court case, I'll promise you that. But anyways, yeah, so he made that video, and he was like talking about how, oh yeah, kids back in his school used to call him Apu from The Simpsons and stuff. and then he pretty much invited a bunch of people who kind of just agree with his points. He didn't really invite anyone outside of like any like fans of Apu as the character, no Simpsons fans, none of that. He just was like, oh yeah, interview people who just don't like Apu, basically. But no, it's not like Apu is a terrible character or anything, and it's not like, oh, Apu's the reason why this man got bullied and whatnot. Because I'm like, nah. Because I mean, again, for me, like, and again, like I said, for me, I was like, when I was in school and whatnot, I used to get bullied, of course, and people used to call me names. I used to be called Steve Urkel, and I was called Harry Potter and stuff because I was skinny, I was nerdy, and I wear glasses and stuff. So yeah, yeah, it was called those two things, but it's not like I'm gonna get upset or mad at, oh, it's Steve Urkel's fault or Harry Potter's fault that I was bullied in school. Like, no. So no, Apu's not the reason why he was bullied in school, or any other person that's probably called Apu that's Indian or whatever. No, I highly doubt it. I mean, you can get bullied just because you're like just by being different. You get bullied if you're like, like, oh, your accent and your skin color and stuff, or your skin tone or whatever. You like, I don't know. They'll make some kind of like comparison to chocolate or something, I guess, or they'll make fun of your accent. It happens. I mean, even if the Apu character didn't exist, people would still just bully him anyways. Because again, people are just, well, people are assholes and stuff. The bullies who picked on me, yeah, they were jerks and stuff, just like the guys who picked on him and whatnot. But the thing is, though, like this guy Hari Kantabolu, this man is like 39 years old, right? And he's holding on to shit from like 30 years ago, you know? Like Apu appeared like back in like, I want to say 1990 or 1991, one of those years. But anyways, yeah, it's at least around 30 to 29 years he's been around, right? And this guy is out here like complaining because, oh, uh, because of Apu and stuff. Like, so yeah, or he wants to like, yeah, or he yeah, it's retarded. Um, like it really is. I swear to God, it really is retarded. So anyways, what did Hank? Oh, not Hank Azaria. Hari Katabolu. So what did he do? Like, oh my God, like that's like I had to sit through that entire documentary. It was so bad. But anyways, like there was at least three scenes that I kind of just found funny. But more so like I was just laughing at him. The first scene was where he tried to invite Hank Azaria on the show, but Hank Azaria declined, and he got all mad. And then they just cut to him like just throwing some shit in his apartment or his room or whatever. It was so dumb. I'm not sure if he was doing that for drama or if he was just or if he was like legit. Like he was legitimately like angry. Like if you actually look at his face in the documentary, you see that he is very like he looks very frustrated. Just I don't know. Whenever he's on this subject, it's like it's very dumb. And then yeah, it's very dumb. And then there was this other scene where he was talking to his parents and stuff, and his parents were like, like he was showing his parents the cartoon, and his parents are all like, I mean, they're like, it's all right. I mean, he seems like a very talented actor, and it's kind of funny, but it's just a cartoon. And then he's like, no, he's like so frustrated, and he's so salty, bro. You can see the soul in his face, I swear. But he's all like, no, he's saying that this is you and whatnot. And I'm like, so that's so dumb. That's so dumb. He's saying that this is you and whatnot. He's making fun of our culture and our people and stuff. Oh my God. Cry me a freaking river. And then my favorite part was, I swear, it was the ending. I promise it was the ending. The ending was the best part. And not because it was just ending. Well, that was, a part of it. But the icing on the cake was that he, again, tried to reach out to Hank Azaria. And he got this email from him where Hank was like, no, yeah, he was like, hey, Hari Kandabula, I know what you're doing and stuff. Yeah, I would appreciate you trying to have me on the show and all, but I'm not trying to get in mixed up with all that and whatnot, because he knew he was trying to set him up for failure. He knew he was trying to like, oh yeah, invite him on the show and basically just try to talk shit to him, make him suck his toes and all that, make him apologize for oh that he act as if he was one of his bullies from like over 30 years ago. Like keep in mind, I'm a grown ass man too. Like the last time I was ever bullied back in school was like 10 years ago when I was like 12. But this dude is like again 39 and he's holding on to shit from like yeah, he's holding on to shit like from over 30 years ago. Come on, bro. Or at least 20. But come on. I'm like just I don't know the nerve of some people, but anyways, yeah. But Hank Azaria's like, nah, man. Maybe we could probably talk on a more fair platform basically, yeah, because pretty much Harry wanted the ball in his court, and he was pissed off that, oh, Hank Azaria couldn't come to his show, so he can, you know, basically just have the advantage and just talk shit on him. Yeah, pretty much just shit on him in his own documentary. Like, I swear. And then, yeah, this is ridiculous. Like, I don't know who in their right mind actually thought that that was a good documentary. And then in the end, he's trying to look all tough by, like, punching out renders or posters of Matt Groening and Hank Azaria and Apu. And when I'm like, bro, this dude is not tough. If he's holding on to shit from 30 years ago about him getting bullied and then he's doing all this, I'm like, he is not a tough guy. You know, like, he's not a tough guy. But even if you do, like, I don't know, boycott Apu or get him canceled, or if the character never existed, that's not going to end all bullying or of South Asian people, whatever. It's not going to happen. I mean, again, people will find ways to make fun of you regardless. That's just how bullies get down. That's like me saying, again, like, oh yeah, they should cancel Family Matters and cancel Harry Potter, even though, well, Harry Potter, I mean, it, like, again, those shows are kind of over, but Harry Potter is kind of continuing through Fantastical Beasts. But regardless, oh yeah, we should get rid of those characters in those series and stuff, or boycott it or whatever, because I was called Harry Potter and Steve Urkel back in the day. Like, no. I don't, Asian people, they get called Jackie Chan and Bruce Lee. We should get rid of Bruce Lee and Jackie Chan movies and stuff. Like, yeah, it's ridiculous. I'm like, no. So just like the Apu thing, I'm like, it's not even that serious. Like, I swear. But anyways, it was kind of funny to watch though. Like, wow, this guy is so ridiculous. But anyways, yeah, that's all I gotta say there on how do you come to Bolu and stuff. Check out the documentary. It's really, like, this man is the soul of the earth, I swear. And then Haryana here, I'm like, yeah, and she's talking about, so, oh yeah, it was a good documentary. It's created by South Asian people, and it really does break down the problem. No, it doesn't. It really doesn't. But anyways, yeah. And by the way, Hank Azaria, I mean, not Hank Azaria, I mean, how do you come to Bolu? The dude's a stand-up comedian. He makes jokes about white people and stuff all the time, but yeah, he gets offended when white people write jokes about Indian people. Come on. So anyways, the rest of this video is just Haryana talking about how white people can't apparently write black people for some reason.
Just auditioning. I think I was still working on Mad TV at Fox, and along with hundreds of other people to audition for the guy who created The Simpsons. It was a little intimidating. It was tough trying to figure out where the character might be because it was a brand new show. We knew it wasn't The Simpsons, but that's all we knew. And I'm looking at the character and they're telling me he's, you know, a bureaucrat, an accountant. So I think I was doing just sort of, you know, this kind of voice. Yes, Fry, Professor, I'd like you to meet someone. This is Dr. Zoidberg. Then about 3 episodes in, the writers sort of realized that the Hermes character was fine, but they didn't really have anything that was working. And I remember Matt Groening coming up to me in the hallway and said, well, we just want to try something with Hermes. Can you do a Jamaican accent? I said, sure, I can do that. I auditioned for Cool Runnings, just like every other black man in 1980, whatever. Adding the accent gave the character another dimension, added depth, because all of a sudden, instead of just writing accountant jokes, they were writing Jamaican jokes, and then laying accountant stuff on top of them, like, okay, so what if he's sort of laid back, but not laid back at all? I think actually, had Matt not suggested that, I probably wouldn't be sitting here. I probably wouldn't have made it past episode 4.